Carver earns her cut and her namesake. Wielding a sword from Vanaheim and with an axe to grind, Achilles Fairchild's right-hand woman and most dangerous enforcer, Carver, has been ordered to kill Moon Knight. Moon Knight's already got stomped by Fairchild himself and only lived by the grace of his god Khonshu, but the Moon God's patience is wearing thin. Carver's blade craves blood. So this is Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 8 from Marvel, and we start off with Moon Knight's death. Yeah, we basically have Moon Knight. He's in some place called the Horde. He's chained down. He's talking to a disembodied voice, and all of a sudden we get that classic moment where it's like, oh, like, where am I? Oh yeah, now I remember. Kind of just reminds me of the whole meme, this is me. You're probably wondering how I got myself in this situation. Well, we get to see how, and we see that Carver has impaled Moon Knight through the chest with her sword and basically killed him. And so because of that, he is now in the Horde. You may be wondering, what is the Horde? Well, the Horde is the realm that the sword brings all its victims to. And the person that Moon Knight is talking to is the sword itself. And the sword starts talking to Moon Knight and tells him about Carver's origin story. It turns out that she was a soldier. She was in a place called Vanaheim. Her and one of her fellow soldiers are being attacked by demons. The soldier gets taken away and it's just Carver left, and she's running. She's being chased by a demon. And that's when she hears this voice. And this voice turns out to be coming from the sword. And it says, I am Gunnar, the hoarding blade. I require a hand to wield me. Will you die here or will you draw me? And so Carver takes the sword, which gives her the strength to get revenge and kill the demons that killed her platoon. But now she works for the sword, and she is forced to continue to feed it souls by killing people. And if she doesn't, then her life is forfeit. Now I'm like, okay, that's kind of a cool idea. I've always been a fan of like the trope where a character has a weapon that forces it to kill. Usually it's feasting on blood, but the idea of it forcing you to kill people to steal their souls so that it can collect souls is kind of badass in my opinion. It's a trope that I've always enjoyed. I feel like it's kind of wasted on Carver. Carver is one of those people, like, she can be an interesting character. I don't know, just something about her doesn't fully interest me. Maybe it's just the way she's been acting throughout most of this series. It's kind of weird because this issue tries to make it seem like Carver is forced to work with Fairchild because of the sword. But then if you read the previous issues, it seems like she has no problems working with Fairchild. Like, she pretty much seems to enjoy what she's doing. And she took like delight in destroying Moon Knight's base and stuff like that. So it almost feels like we're trying to make her sympathetic, but there has been nothing previously to show that she has like regretted her actions this entire time. But yeah, Moon Knight back in the Horde, he's chained down and the sword reveals itself. It is a giant dragon, and like dragons, it likes to hoard things. Only unlike dragons, instead of hoarding coins, it likes to hoard souls. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool idea. A dragon that hoards souls. It forces you to kill people to collect the souls from the victims that you kill. Like, that's kind of cool. And so the dragon wants Moon Knight to surrender and become part of its collection. And that's when Moon Knight reveals that, you think I'm trapped, but the trap was mine. And we see that Moon Knight purposely went out to find Carver, engage her in battle. And at the moment where she stabs him, he allows her to. It's not that she fights him and beats him because he's weaker than her. It's because he wants her to do it. He literally throws down his weapons and just bares his chest for her and allows her to stab him. And the reason why is because his soul has already been bought and paid for. His soul is not his own. His soul belongs to Khonshu. And so because of that, because you've trespassed upon Khonshu's property, Khonshu gets pissed off and dives into the Horde to confront the dragon. Like, we get this kind of cool line, what is a dragon to a god? And Khonshu basically overpowers the dragon, chains it down, and is about to kill him when Moon Knight says, spare him, I have use for him. And he says, I am your knight, and a knight requires a sword. And so now Moon Knight wields the sword of the hoarding dragon. And there's a little bit more, but I'm not going to spoil everything. That was awesome. I was a little bit upset in the beginning of this issue because I was like, this entire series has been Moon Knight just basically getting his butt kicked by everybody, which is fine. You want a character who's not super OP and steamrolling through everybody because that's boring. But you also don't want a character that's basically a doormat that everyone steps all over, because to me that's just annoying. So I want to see Moon Knight like at least getting some small victories. And so I was a little bit upset where I'm like, oh, really? He gets beat up not just by Fairchild, but now even Fairchild's lackey is beating him up. But no, I like the fact that this whole thing was just a ruse. It was all a plan. It was all a fake out. He purposefully allowed himself to get beat so that he can confront the sword and then basically steal its power for his own. And so now he has just gotten a power up. And I'm like, all right, that's awesome. The artwork for this run has been really, really good. I wonder if the artist changed, because I know in, was it the last issue or the issue before? There was an issue, it was the one where Moon Knight boxes Fairchild. I think it was the issue before. I think that might have been like issue number 6 or something. Because the last issue wasn't the boxing one. That one, like, I was complaining a bit about the artwork, about how it wasn't terrible, but like the style makes people look completely different than what they looked like in previous issues. But here, the artwork is really good. Like, I enjoy almost every panel. Every panel is pretty much amazingly drawn. A lot of good opportunities for thumbnails. But the writing is good. There's a lot of cool little one-liners. Like, you know, what is a dragon to a god? You believe me trapped, but the trap was mine. I am your knight, and a knight needs a sword. Like, just, there's a lot of cool lines in here. The story is very intriguing. I like a lot of the stuff that were like introduced here, like the whole soul-eating sword. I mean, that's nothing new, but it's still just like a trope that I enjoy. I like the idea of a dragon that hoards souls rather than coins. Like, there's a lot of just like interesting stuff in this series. This series has been amazing so far. There have been a couple issues that have been a little bit weaker than other issues, but even the weaker issues aren't that bad. For anyone who's like a fan of Moon Knight, obviously check it out. For anyone who is not a fan of Moon Knight or is intrigued by Moon Knight and wants to jump in, I'll say this is a good issue to a good series to jump into. I mentioned this before, but I am not a very knowledgeable person when it comes to Moon Knight. I know him very briefly from original Werewolf by Night run, and by original I mean the original Volume 1 run. So yeah, I know Moon Knight from like his debut, like his first appearance and stuff, which is a completely different Moon Knight than what we have now in terms of like what they did with the character and stuff. Other than that, I only really know him from the Marvel TV series and Marvel Rivals. So I don't know much about the character other than those. But what I'm reading here, like, he sounds like really cool. Like, I've been enjoying the hell out of this run. For someone who's not all that knowledgeable of Moon Knight, I'm not completely lost. Like, the series does a pretty good job of keeping me up to date on what's going on. Like, even stuff like Moon Knight and Tigra and Hank Pym situation, Moon Knight dying in a previous series. Like, it does everything to basically make sure that you're kind of up to date on the character. Probably would have been a lot better if I had read previous stuff with Moon Knight in it, but for someone who is just jumping into their first Moon Knight run, I'm not completely lost. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good jumping on point. Awesome series so far. Highly recommend it. For anyone who is a big fan of Moon Knight, if you got recommendations for other Moon Knight stuff I should read, let me know, because I'm always down to read more about this character. So far, the series has done a really good job of making me interested in the Moon Knight character, wanting to know more about him. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling at this point. That's Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, issue number 8 from Marvel. Awesome issue. Highly recommend it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.